It's a little cool out this morning. We're getting into September and the seasons are starting to change. If you watched my RAGBRAI videos, you know I rode 4 days of RAGBRAI, and then once I got to Des Moines, I quit. And that was because the heat was just too much for me and just had a total lack of sleep and was just completely, totally exhausted. So I thought I'd do a little video on what I'm going to do next time to try and beat the heat, because there's definitely going to be a next time. RAGBRAI is just too fun of an event not to do it again. When I got back, one of the first things that somebody asked me was whether or not I needed to train more for RAGBRAI. And the answer is no, I don't think so. I did nearly 2,000 miles from January 1st to just a few weeks prior to RAGBRAI, and I don't think realistically I could do much more than that. That being said, I think I do need to change my training a little bit. I need to ride just a little bit faster. I need to get my fitness level up a little bit more so that I could ride just a tad faster. And the reason being is, you know, on those longer days I could ride the miles, but it would take me, you know, all day to do it. And so I don't think I was getting the breaks that I really wanted and needed. Most of my breaks were kind of functional breaks. You know, I'd come into town or into a farmer's tent area, and I would get drinks, food, whatever, look around a little bit, and then get back on the bike and keep going, because I knew in my head, you know, I needed to get those miles. And they say RAGBRAI isn't a race, and it's not, but you have a 12-hour window, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That the event organizers want you to be on the road. You can leave earlier. You know, plenty of people left earlier, and plenty of people came in later. But you know, I was trying to oblige that 12-hour window. And so, you know, on one of the shorter days, I took like a 10-15 minute break doing absolutely nothing underneath a shade tree, which was, you know, just absolutely wonderful. Whereas when I was getting food and water, you know, I'm still up and around, walking around, and more often than not, still in the sun. So need to ride a little bit faster so I could take more breaks, and specifically more shade tree breaks. Another thing that I need to change is my the route that I ride. The route that I predominantly rode for training this event is on a bike path, and the bike path is 50% shade. And not only is it 50% shade, but it's shade that's spread out from beginning to end. So if you're hot on one section of the trail, you know, shade's coming in just a little bit. Whereas in Iowa, there is like zero shade on the road. So going to try and move, hi there, going to try and move my route to a sunnier location to try and get used to a little bit more sun exposure. I did a lot of research before doing this event, talked to people, watched a whole lot of videos. I talked to Billy Bikes, and he mentioned getting a camp fan. And somebody that I was riding with on the bus ride across Iowa mentioned the same thing. And, you know, honestly, I kind of thought, I'm going camping, you know, who brings a fan camping? Well, you know, next time I'm going to bring a fan, because the air inside that tent, it was just completely stagnant, didn't move hardly at all. And even with the tent flaps wide open, there was just no air movement inside of that tent. So the next time I'm going to bring a fan, try and get some air movement in there. That way it will you know, keep me cooler, keep me from sweating as much, and also it has the added benefit of drowning out some of the other camp noises that might keep me awake. So next time I'm definitely going to bring a fan. When I checked into my hotel in Des Moines, it was an absolute relief. It was air conditioned, I got DoorDash, I slept for 10 hours straight. It was wonderful. And when I woke up the next morning, even though I knew I was exiting the ride and going home, when I woke up I thought, you know, I could ride. And I very nearly changed my mind. And I might have changed my mind had it not been for the fact that they were calling for 99-degree heat that day, and it was an 80-some mile day. If it had been a little bit cooler, or maybe a little less mileage, I very well might have changed my mind. But things were already in motion to go home, and so I stuck with that plan. So the next time, knowing how I felt just after one day of complete rest, I think next time I will plan for a hotel in the middle of the ride. That way it gives me something to look forward to. I get some good food, get some good rest, and wake up fresh and ready to go the next day. Next time I'm going to bring a bigger bag too. Now, you might think, well, what does having a bigger bag have to do with beating the heat? Well, I had just a standard sized duffel bag. It was about yay long. And once I put my tent and my other camping gear and my clothes in there, there wasn't room for any fan in there. It was jam-packed. And when I weighed it in that first day, it was 24 pounds. That was my total weight that I carried with me. And RAGBRAI allows you 50 pounds in one bag. And so, there was 26 pounds of extra stuff that I could have carried with me. Not that I need 26 extra pounds of stuff, but having a little extra room for a fan, plus a little bit more room for souvenirs and the like. Yeah, next time a bigger bag. And not only a bigger bag, but a bag with shoulder straps. My duffel bag, again, just a standard duffel bag, it had, hand carry straps. And when I went to the hotel was only 3 or 4 miles away from where I stopped in Des Moines. I put that bag on my shoulders, and those hand straps just dug into my shoulders, and my arms went numb from the shoulder down. And so I was alternating between having that bag on my shoulders and walking the bike carrying the bag at the same time. And that was just a pain, both literally and figuratively. So bigger bag and shoulder straps for next time. This next one kind of took me a little bit by surprise, because I thought I had everything worked out before I even left the house, and that is food and hydration. Normally when I go on a ride, I take a couple of Cliff Bars with me. They're a staple of every ride that I go on. No matter what snacks I bring with me, there's at least one Cliff Bar with me. And so I took Cliff Bars with me to RAGBRAI because they're tried and true. But when I got there, I don't know if it was the heat or what, but I just absolutely couldn't stomach them. I had to force feed myself these Cliff Bars while I'm riding, and so I wasn't really eating enough calories while I was out on the road. I would stop in at the town areas and get a snack or something like that, but I was depending on those Cliff Bars to really keep me going in between towns, and especially later on in the day when I'm more interested in getting to camp than I am at stopping at one of the towns. So I wasn't eating a whole lot, and it was definitely having an effect on me. And I called my wife one night, just talking to her about it, and she recommended getting some peanut butter. Now, I really like peanut butter, but I'm thinking, I don't want to eat peanut butter on a ride, because it's sticky and it's messy. But I thought, well, I'll go take a look. It just so happened that we were camped next to a grocery store, and they had packets of squeezable peanut butter. And I tried that out the next day, and oh man, it was it was absolutely wonderful. I mean, if I liked peanut butter before, I absolutely loved it then. So I've got to bring a much wider variety of snacks, you know, in case I don't like one for whatever reason while I'm on the ride. I've got something else to choose from. And then just, you know, variety for variety's sake. And then also ran into a problem with my hydration. I typically don't like Gatorade or, you know, any of the normal sports drinks. I don't know what it is about them, but they just seem to linger in my throat, and I don't like them. So what I normally bring with me are these little Noon tablets. They come in a variety of flavors, and you get all the electrolytes, but there's like practically no calories in there. There's like, you know, 10 calories per tablet, so, you know, next to nothing. But while I was out riding, you know, I was drinking it, but I wasn't terribly fond of it. And, you know, I rolled up onto a farm tent that was selling Gatorade bottles, and I thought, you know what, I'll give one of these a shot. My buddy down here is getting restless. I'll give one of those Gatorade bottles a shot, and I drank it, and you know, it was just exactly what I needed. You know, not only the electrolytes, but again, you know, the calories. Needed more calories while I was out there riding on the road. So next time, going to be a whole lot more flexible in the snacks that I bring and in my sports drinks. And then lastly, just going to hope for better weather. The week before RAGBRAI was in the upper 80s. The week after RAGBRAI, I think, was in the upper 80s as well. It was just that middle week that was just, you know, really intense heat. And I think Iowa had some intense heat after that too. But there were definite periods of time where, you know, I think I would have fared a whole lot better if it had been 95 and below. Of course, you know, can't control Mother Nature. You can only ride in what she gives you. So I'm definitely going to try these things out next time to try and beat the heat and hopefully have a successful RAGBRAI. Hope you enjoyed the video.